Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make the world's best Chex Mix. But the world's best Chex Mix is a bit of a misnomer since it is relative. As you'll see today, there are no measurements for what we're going to make. This was Grandma's recipe that she showed me how to make. And once upon a time there probably was directions, but it was something that over the years she perfected, and us kids came to know it as the world's best Chex Mix. So if you're someone who requires measurements, this is not going to be for you. But if you're someone who likes to find the perfect taste for something the way they like it, then this will be a good start. The ingredients are Worcestershire sauce. I tend to like to get the Lea & Perrins. Seasoned salt, Lowry's definitely. Garlic powder, onion powder, butter. You'll find that for the amount I'm going to make, which is going to be enough for to fill up two 1 gallon bags, that somewhere between 2 and 3 cubes of butter works well. Pretzels, the thinner the pretzels the better. They're hard to find. Grandma used to be able to find super thin pretzels, but rolled gold's the best we can do around here. Peanuts, dry roasted tends to work a little bit better since the flavor sticks to it just a little bit better. Cheerios, and then of course your Chex, which Costco conveniently had a 3-pack of all flavors. Okay, so before we get going on the sauce, the first thing I like to do is get everything set up from a cereal and peanut and pretzel standpoint. Start with the Chex Mix. Rice Chex first. It's the best part. I tend to put more of that. And then the corn Chex. Not quite as good as the rice. I put a little less of that. And then the wheat Chex. Cheerios. Peanuts. And then the pretzels. Not everybody likes every ingredient. My brother-in-law doesn't like the peanuts. I think he's nuts. My sister picks around all the pretzels, which always makes us a little unhappy because there should be really no picking in Chex Mix. But this is the world's best Chex Mix, and these are the world's best ingredients. And mix it all up. And then I like to get as much as I possibly can in here, so if there's a little extra space, I'll go back and add some more Chex. Usually the rice Chex and the Cheerios for the fillers. Okay, now to make the sauce. Start with the butter, and if you can think ahead, it helps already have the butter sitting out. It just melts a little bit easier. So what we'll do is we'll melt all the butter first, then add the Worcestershire, and lastly add the seasoning salts. Okay, so we have our melted butter, and the next step is to add the Worcestershire. And it's a go by color type of thing, so just start dribbling it. Gonna put a lot in there. Give it a churn, and you're gonna want it to get to be a really dark brown. You'll always have to keep mixing as you add the Worcestershire and then the seasoning salts, and then as you pour it in to mix it in with everything, because the butter will separate from the Worcestershire. And that's nowhere near brown enough. It's more of a golden. We want it to have more of a dark brown hue. And that's still pretty light. And that's getting there. A little bit more. Now it needs just a splash more. I'm going to have to open a new one. Alright. So now that is more brown than golden, and that looks about right. Now for the Lowry's, this is all just pump some in there. You're going to have more Lowry's than you will the garlic and onion powder by at least a 2-to-1 count. And keep mixing that in. Some onion powder. I tend to go a little bit lighter on the onion powder. And the garlic powder. Give that a taste. I guess so. Okay, so now to mix it in. Because I pack mine to the brim, I find that it helps to get something like a washout where you have a little bit more churning space, and your hands are going to get dirty here. So what you do, get this stirred up, make sure it's not separated. Pour some in there. Start mixing. Make sure you get all the way down to the bottom. Sauce will end up settling on the bottom, so mixing across the bottom helps. Once you have that spread around pretty good, go back and add some more. Don't forget to stir. Now my one pan is about twice as big as the other pan, so I'll end up using about 2-to-1 for this batch of what's in my measuring thing there. Okay, now that everything's mixed up, we'll put it in the oven, 235, and we're going to bake it for 15 minutes at a time. Take it out, mix it, so you can keep this handy and plop it in there and shake it around and put it back in. So we're going to do 15 minutes 4 times for a total of an hour. Sometimes it might need a little bit extra. A deeper pan like this sometimes needs a little bit extra for everything to get crisped up. Okay, so there you have it. Yummy Chex Mix. The last step before you put it all away is I find it helpful when you put it into the Ziplocs to mix the two together. In case one of the plates got more flavor and more sauce, that way it evens it out. Enjoy!